Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Colorado Avalanche franchise mode. So in last episode, we took on the Sweden Super Swedes in the conference finals. It was kind of scary because we were down 3-2 in the series. Unfortunately for them, we managed to bounce back with a nice 4-1 win. And then Game 7 was out of hand as we won 7-2, and now we're up here in the Stanley Cup Finals for the second straight season, this time against the Washington Capitals. So obviously last year we lost to the Bruins. We kind of have bad memories about that because we were up 3-2 in the series, and then we lost the Game 6 in overtime because of a goal from, I think it was Anson Carter or somebody like that. Anyways, we lost that game, and then they would go on to shut us out in Game 7. So I'm hoping that this time around we could just cruise with this and get our Stanley Cup, because we definitely need that. After like a really good season so far, we just need that Stanley Cup to like cap it off, because we won our President's Trophy for sure. We've won a lot of individual player awards. It now comes down to this: can we win the Stanley Cup? Because we're kind of running out of time in terms of Patrick Waugh being another Stanley Cup champion. Joe Sakic's running out of time on his career probably, all that type of thing. So here we go. Game number 1, going for this Stanley Cup. Come on, boys. We got home ice, obviously, after a great season. Let's see if we could do this here. First period, and 1-0 Washington. Not a good start. Better than other games, because I know we have had games where we've let in 3 goals in the first period, but hopefully we could bounce back in a second like what we've been doing for the first couple rounds. Shots are 14-13 in favor of Washington. Second period, and it is 2-0 Washington. So not looking good here in game 1. Sednik making it a 2-0 score. Shots are 24-23 in favor of the Caps. Come on, boys. There you go. Early goal in the third period. That's a big goal to set momentum on our side. Goal from Sullivan. Can we just tie it up at least and bring it to OT? Come on, Joe Sakic. You have late goals in you. I know you do. Final 5 minutes. Come on, boys. There you go. Sullivan again. Let's go. I almost didn't actually bring Sullivan back in the offseason, so I'm really happy I did right now. 2-2 game. Shots are pretty good, 35-33. And we're headed to overtime in game number 1 of these Stanley Cup Finals. Come on, guys. Let's have a hero here. Peter Forsberg or somebody, maybe? How about Sam Strudwick? He had a really good 4 points in that last game of the series in the conference finals. Penalty kill, nicely done. Yikes, this might be one that goes to double OT. We're out shooting them by a lot, but it's still 2-2. And are we going to double OT? Yes, we are. Shots are 47-34. Come on, guys. You could solve Kolzig. You could do this. Overtime underway, or second overtime underway, and we are going to take it 3-2. Let's go. Mark Darmour, one of the young players on our team, gets the game winner, and we are 3 wins away. So Sullivan from Drury, Sullivan from Fleury. Good job, Sullivan, in that period. Without Sullivan, we would have lost that game. And then Darmour from Fleury and Sakic. 3 stars in that game. Sullivan, Patrick Waugh, who's starting to find his game a lot better, because he struggled like in the third round, and then I benched him for a game, and then he's came back and he's been lights out since. So I'm glad that he's starting to find his game again. And then Fleury gets the 3rd star. Okay, guys, so we got to continue with this. We got to put our foot on the gas pedal and continue to accelerate forward going into game 2, because we know they're going to be trying harder than game number 1. So game number 2, Stanley Cup Finals. Come on, boys, you could do this. Let's just get contributions from all our lines again. First period, and it's 1-0 us. Let's go. It's Theo Fleury. Good job, Theo. Shots are 15-4 in favor of us, so we're dominating this game so far, but we only have 1 goal. Second period, and it's 2-0. Let's go again. Drury, who had like an insane, was it conference finals or second round? There was a game where he had a hat trick, I know, in the period. I think that was the second round, maybe it was the third round. No, I think it was the third round. Yeah, it was the third round, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, we have a 2-0 lead going into this third. Let's just lock this down. We're definitely making use of this home ice advantage, but hopefully we can continue to play good in Washington. Power play for us. There you go, Sam Strudwick. Let's go. 3-0. Hopefully we're going to be saying that name a lot more in the future because this guy is going to be a career-long Avalanche player for sure. And we are going to shut out game number 2, 4-0. Even though we were actually outshot after such a great first period, 32-31 final, but we win 4-0. Good job, Patrick Waugh. So Fleury from Forsberg, Drury from Sullivan, Strudwick from Forbes, and Donovan from Bullis. Okay, so if we could win this next game in Washington, we probably have a really good chance of winning the cup. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know. They could still technically come back. I'm not going to count my chickens because last year I thought we had a chance to win that cup in Game 6, and then we lost, Game 7 as well. So, game number 3, can we take a 3-0 series lead here in Washington and have a chance to win our first Stanley Cup? First period, and it is scoreless, so I'm okay with that. That's 5 straight periods where Patrick Waugh has not allowed a goal. Shots are 12-5 in favor of us, so we keep dominating these first periods in shots, but it's still tight. So Kolzig's doing all he can to keep his team in it. Second period, and it's still scoreless. Shots are still heavily in our favor, 25-13. We've almost doubled them in shots, yet it is still scoreless. So I guess Kolzig's trying to bounce back from letting in 4 goals last game. So here we go, third period underway. Power play for us. We don't score. There you go, Mullane Hayduke, making it a 1-0 game. Good job, Hayduke. He's 28 now, so he's kind of getting up there a bit. Final 5 minutes of this third period. And we are 1 win away from our first Stanley Cup. Oh, yes. Patrick Waugh has been great. 2 straight shutouts in this finals. So Hayduke with the only goal from Sullivan and Drury. Olaf Kolzig, I'm going to give you a pat on the back too for the Caps because you kept your team in that. Just could not find the puck really that well. Okay, so we are 1 win away from the Stanley Cup. I'm going to save this quickly, and then also, if we do have a chance to win this cup in this game, we're going to intervene and let you guys watch. Hopefully this time around we actually win, or else it could be ending up like last year and we just lose multiple games in a row. But we're 1 win away, and yeah, Washington has to win 4 in a row, so this is a better opportunity than last year was. Just imagine if we would have won last year, though, too, because then we would have been going for a second straight cup. So here we go. Game 4, can we win the Stanley Cup? We'll do a real-time simulation just because we have the chance. So here we go. Game 4 underway in Washington, and we already opened the scoring. Theo Fleury, that's a great way to start it off. And Fleury again, let's go top line. And Fleury with the natural hat-trick in the first 6 minutes of the game. What the hell? Yeah, this entire playoff run has been really insane. We've had a lot of games where we just all of a sudden score a shit ton of goals out of nowhere. Like in the conference finals, we had that first game which completely surprised me. Like all of a sudden we had I think it was 3 goals in the last 4 minutes of the game, 2 minutes of the game. Yeah, I think it was the last 2 minutes of the game, and then we won an OT. And now we are literally 2 periods away from winning the Stanley Cup. It's just insane. Zednik makes it a 3-1 game, breaking Patrick Waugh's shutout streak, actually. So Patrick Waugh's shutout streak lasted 7 periods. Bullis scores against his former team, but Nolan Foote scores against his dad's team to make it a 4-2 game. Final 5 minutes here of this second period. And it is still 4-2 for us. I'm going to put it down to 4 times simulation. Just in case this gets tight. And then yeah, with the last 3 minutes or so, I'll intervene and you guys will watch if we have a chance to win the cup, because I don't know if the Caps could still score 2 goals soon. Come on, boys, just lock this down. Lock her down. And Martin Perulik, that's kind of scary, makes it a 4-3 game. But a short-handed goal from Chris Drury, giving us a 5-3 game. That is a huge goal. And a ball buster if you're the Caps to let in a short-handed goal like this. So we are going to intervene shortly. Let's intervene. Yeah, let's intervene right now. So we're up by 2 goals, and we are like less than 5 minutes away from winning our first Stanley Cup. So I'm going to let you guys watch the celebration, and then I'll see you guys back up at the end of it with the recap of like the awards and all that type of thing. So I'll see you guys in a second.
If you're just with us, it's been a tremendous bit of hockey so far, and more to come.
Well, there's been no shortage of goals here tonight as this one winds down. We've seen some pretty terrific goals and some that haven't been so great as well. But there has been a big number on the board, it seems, almost since the early part of the first period.
Not able to do that well. He's got it. Wouldn't let him by. To the point it comes. Shot. Oh, what a stop.
Terrific stop from right in front of the net, but you got to find a way to put the puck in the net.
Gains the zone. Nearing the final minute of regulation. The Capitals have to take a chance here. They pull their goalie. The lane was jammed, and it hit somebody. Marches on a cross. Shot deflected. A tremendous glove save.
I usually don't even know where the mascot is most of the time in a game, but this guy's really good. He's all over the place. He's in front of the play, so people are watching him while they're watching what's going on the ice. I kind of like his costume, too. This is pretty good stuff.
Sides to head for the corner. Shoots. Great glove save. That's a huge face-off victory for them. Colorado's on net, open, score! Off the iron and in.
That one should put the icing on the cake.
That's going to be too much for them to come back from. That empty netter will seal the deal.
The tie-up, he needed help, and he got it. Slid to Forsberg. Oh, and he missed the net.
Right idea, but he just missed the net.
Skill play by McLaren. It is a hooking call on this play. A restraining foul, and the arm of the referee is out. Boy, is at the bench. 6 attackers now. The game is lopsided, but we did need to enter one more thing on the penalty sheet, didn't we?
Well, what he was trying to do is trying to get the puck, but unfortunately for him, he reached in and hooked around the player. Off to the penalty box he goes.
Won that face-off. Now what? Good place to shoot from. Save there. The horn, the hockey game, and the title, and now a new name accompanies their team name at this horn, champions.
I'm not really sure where this tradition originated, but it's one that separates our sport, I believe, from a lot of the others. The players come together, congratulate each other on a hard-fought series, but it doesn't mean that you actually like the guy that you're shaking hands with.
The man chosen playoff MVP gets the Conn Smythe Trophy. Boy, is this ever well deserved.
There's always a little bit of an odd feeling when the Conn Smythe Trophy is handed out because it's an individual award when everybody is here to see the best trophy in sports presented. And that...
It's often said it's the hardest prize to win because it takes 8 weeks. And by tradition, the captain is the first to hold it high.
I remember as a kid watching Johnny Busick, the captain of the Boston Bruins, hold the Stanley Cup above his head. I thought it would be the coolest thing to do. Look how proud and happy the captain is here tonight. There's so much going on the ice right now. I wonder if the players are able to soak it all in, or if it goes by so fast that the time that they really understand is when they look at it on video later on. This is outstanding to see how happy these players are.
In what would be his last Stanley Cup victory, Wayne Gretzky gathered everyone at center ice for a team picture, and that has now become a custom.
So there you guys have it. We won our first Stanley Cup, so that wrapped up a pretty perfect year for us because we won the President's Trophy, we won a lot of other stuff. This was a great season. So Fleury gets first star in that game of four goals. Sakic took home the Conn Smythe with 22 points, I think it said. And yeah, it was just a great team effort in that entire Stanley Cup playoffs, especially in that conference finals. Like I said, like if we would have lost that first game in the series, if we didn't come back, we wouldn't have even been in the Cup Finals. So it was just a really great team effort. Like I think everybody had good contributions in this finals. So let's take a look at the player stats for this playoffs, and then we're going to advance until we find out the awards, check out the retirements and all that sort of thing. So this might be a bit of a longer episode again. So Sakic and Drury, 22 points in 22 games. Good job for both of them. Fleury, 21 points, especially in that last game. 4 goals out of his 8 goals came in that final game. Forsberg, 18 points. Sullivan and Hayduk, 15 points. Watt and Bullis, 12 points. Donovan, Strudwick, Zadorov, 11 points. Forbes, 10 points. Ozolinch, only 6. Culp, 5 points. McBain, Darmour, Dandino, Miller, all 4 points. So everybody had 4 points and above, and we won the Stanley Cup for Adam Foote, considering he was out with the injury for the entire playoffs. But what's kind of cool is a lot of these guys that were on our team just won the Calder Cup last year, and now they won the Stanley Cup. So Culp, I think it is, Culp, Zadorov, Strudwick, and Carter all win the Calder Cup last year, and now they're all Stanley Cup champions. So that is just really great to see, because these guys, hopefully they continue to win more cups throughout their career. And yeah, Patrick Roy might be in his last season, so getting a Stanley Cup there is a big boost for him. Maybe he'll come back for one more year, who knows. So let's take a look at the awards. So we're going to have to advance a couple days just because the AHL is probably not done their season yet. And then we'll also take a look at retirements. So Adam Foote is back. Let's just go best lines because we're done the season. So yeah, this sucks about Adam Foote being out for that Stanley Cup win, considering he was playing all last year and whatnot. So Stanley Cup champions is us, and the Calder Cup goes to Tucson. So let's take a look at those individual player awards. We should have a lot of them, if I'm not mistaken. So Stanley Cup champions, your Colorado Avalanche. Could have been the second straight year, but we lost last year. President's Trophy for the third year out of the last 5 years is us again, so another award for us. And then obviously we get the Clarence S. Campbell, and the Prince of Wales goes to Washington. Player awards, Forsberg continues his crazy streak. He's got 3 straight Art Rosses, 4 in his last 5 years. He also gets the Hart for the 4th year out of his last 5 seasons. And yeah, Sam Strudwick takes home the James Norris Trophy in his rookie season, as well as the Calder, then that means probably. Brian Leetch had it last year, but Sam Strudwick just had an insane rookie season. Mikonov takes home the Lady Byng for the Czech Republic. Sam Strudwick takes home the Calder, so good rookie season for him. Like, hopefully he continues to be a 60-point plus defenseman. Sakic taking home the Conn Smythe. Corey Schwab takes home the Vezina, so no Vezina for Patrick Waugh this year, unfortunately. But Schwab picks up his 2nd in as many years. Corey Schwab also takes home another Jennings for the 3rd time in 5 years, so he's just been really good. Nolan Pratt takes home the Bill Masterton. The Selke going to Frank Walzer for the 2nd straight season. And Peter Forsberg taking home the Lindsay. Sakic taking home the Maurice Richard. So we pretty much cleaned up on awards this season. And then in the AHL, anybody for us win any awards? Doesn't look like it. Yep, nobody down there in the minors won any awards. Okay, so now our final couple things to do is to look at our retirements and all that stuff. Hopefully we did not lose anybody. So yeah, we're going to look at the retirements and then the draft class and stuff like that. So Finland has the top pick in this year's draft, so they're continuing to struggle. Toronto gets 2nd overall and Pittsburgh the 3rd overall pick. Interesting. Hopefully we do not lose anybody huge to retirement this year, but it wouldn't surprise me. So Joe Nieuwendyk is the biggest guy that retired this year. Wow, 317 points in 472 games. Let's take a look at his playoff stats. This is going to take a while again because I'm going to go through all these playoff stats and whatnot. So there you go. Joe Nieuwendyk. Messier retires with 292 points, so another big retirement, retiring at 44 years old. I think he actually retired during the season too, so that's kind of cool. Or he might have retired in 03, and he never got to play a playoff game in this build, so that sucks for him. I guess the Canucks have been just not that good. Brian Leetch is the next one to retire. All those playoff stats. John Druce, the next greatest to retire. That's kind of weird. I guess he over-simulated, technically. Ulf Dahlin retiring with the Dallas Stars. Or with their AHL affiliate, it looks like. Vladimir Malikov retiring after a defeat from us. So there you go. Oh yeah, also Dave Andrechuk getting the Stanley Cup, I just realized, this year with us. So he actually did win the Cup in 03-04 in real life, and now he does get one here. So that's pretty cool. And he actually does retire as well with 158 points in 290 games. As you can see with us, he played pretty good, 22 points in 48 games. And yeah, he didn't play at all in the playoffs, but glad I could at least get him that Stanley Cup like he did in real life. Tom Fitzgerald, the next greatest that retired. Hopefully there's not too much retirements. Ray Ferraro at 39 years old. Nelson Emerson retiring as a free agent. Interesting. Blair Achainham retiring. He was also actually a depth player for the Blues when we faced them. Jim Hiller. I think he was out with an injury in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. Who else do we got here? Steve Smith. We eliminated his Blues. There you go. Yvonne Corriveau, also retiring for the Los Angeles Kings. Who else we got here? Eric Weinrich retiring with the team that he originally started with in the New Jersey Devils. Doug Bodger retiring with the Chicago Blackhawks. Chris Snell retiring with the Toronto Maple Leafs, who I actually think he played with for a bit, 93-94 if I'm not mistaken, but he was with the German team to begin with. Terry Karkner retiring with the Carolina Hurricanes. That is the cousin of Matt Karkner, I think. Mikhail Kotkaniemi retires with the Calgary Flames. Obviously is Jesperi's dad. That's kind of cool. Alexei Gusarov, our former player, retiring with the Ottawa Senators. Once again, the Ottawa Senators seem to always stock up on those old veterans and put them in the minors. Anybody else? Rob Ray retiring, and one of the enforcers in this build. Interesting. Sergio Momiso also retiring as a free agent. Never got to play a playoff game. Anybody else? Bill Holder retiring with the Ottawa Senators. What the hell did it go to Dalton Prout? There you go. Bill Holder, also in the minors, the final season. Mark Jansen is also retiring, another kind of enforcer physical guy with the Finn. It's Jeff Odgers, a former player of ours, I think, in year 1, retiring in the AHL. Darren Langdon, a lot of enforcers are retiring. Sucks, because now that means then yeah, this is like what happens in real life with enforcers. They're all retiring. Jim Cummins, another kind of physical guy, I think, retiring with the Blackhawks. Anybody else? That might be it. Yeah, this retirement class might not be as bad as last year. Igor Kravchuk with Carolina. Interesting. Sean Poden, another former player, actually, with the Finns. I'm surprised he retired already, but then again, he was already 30, I think, in the first season. Peter Popovic retiring as a free agent. Who else? Lance Pitlick retiring with the St. Louis Blues. Surprised that guy actually got to play. Who else we got here? Tony Herkash. We actually had him for a tiny bit as a depth guy, but he never got to play with us. Retires as a free agent. Matthew Pekka. Anybody else down here? Craig Janney. That's another guy that retires. He didn't get to play that much. In real life, he retired a lot younger than this, like 31, I think. Anybody else? Or is that it for forwards and defense? You look, your Spirit Konkinen, he retires because I gave him AHL other forward potential, but it's kind of funny that he retires the same year as his dad did. And I think that's it in terms of offense. Yeah, all the rest of these guys never played a game. Goalie-wise, Tom Barrasso is the best goalie to retire, so Patrick Waugh does not retire. But Barrasso retires with a kind of a bad record, to be honest, because the Pens have kind of trailed off a bit. So let's actually go all the way over here. Playoff stats. Yeah, he was good in the playoffs when he did play. Kirk McLean also retiring as a free agent. Sean Burke retiring with the Detroit Red Wings. He was in the AHL the last season, it looks like. Darren Pupa retiring. Or Pupa, I think it's pronounced Pupa though. Not mistaken. Anybody else? No, that is it for the retirements. So no huge retirements. Joe Newendike, Mark Messier, maybe the biggest. But other than that, not really that much. So the final thing we got to do is take a look at the draft class. And then I think that's it for this episode. I'll actually will check the progress reports as well. So since we just won the cup, we'll have the 31st overall pick. And yeah, we're probably going to look at left wingers, centers, or defensemen, because that's where we're kind of struggling for prospects. So maybe somebody like this Wong guy. Who else? Ribeiro, maybe. I don't know. Just people like that. Maybe even this Lebriere guy wouldn't be that bad. So yeah, let me know what you guys think we should go after at the draft. Like, I know we need a left winger, center, and some defensemen. But if you guys see anything better than that, let me know. And yeah, let's quickly take a look at the progress reports. And then that'll be it for this episode. So no retirements again, which is great, but we do have some drop-offs probably. So let's see. Sam Strudwick up to an 87 overall. Zubov should be in the NHL next season. Zadorov is 78, but I think he should get more growth next season. Carter up to an 80. Where's Ralph Culp? Culp is up to a 78 still. Darmore an 85. Anybody else? How about goalies? Nothing. In the system, highest overall player, Grabeshkov. He's probably going to be NHL bound next season. Gunnarsson probably will be... He's actually listed as a backup. Well, Gunnarsson will be backup for sure 1 year, but after Patrick Wall retires, I think. Other than that, not really much growth. Like, Murray Roach didn't grow at all, so this guy is kind of taking his time a bit. But yeah, that's, I think, it. Galchenyuk got to a 69, so he's growing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this episode for Colorado Avalanche franchise mode. So next episode, we will have the off season as we look to kind of maintain our status as a champion. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.